Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Saturday at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. I'm Ashley Hobley, and joining me today is Captain Q's herself, Cherie Sharona.
Hello! I'm like starfishing on the couch this week, Ash, because it's just you and I.
Yeah, there's so much space. It's just us two. Yeah, there's nobody else here. They're all busy doing stuff. I don't know, having
doing
lives,
life.
I guess. Doing life. All right. So today on the show, we'll be discussing Persona 5, the Royale with Cheese, getting ready for Detective Pikachu, a new cutie game being announced, and celebrating Gameboy's 30th birthday, because we're the two with the experience of 30th birthdays. So
yeah.
It makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah. But first, we've got someone has finally stepped up and taken Sony's place at E3.
Yeah.
Square Enix just tweeted out to this week that they are intending to have some sort of special event on at the exact time that Sony usually has their press conference. At Monday, June 10th, 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, so that's about lunchtime for us, I think.
Yeah, that's about lunchtime for us, so not too... I'm eternally grateful because now I don't have to get up at 2 o'clock again like I was last year.
Yes,
which was
that will be awesome.
One of the worst possible things. No, not much rumors about what could possibly... they could be showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I saw a lot of people wanting specific things. Like,
yeah.
You go. Yeah.
There's two games that
hit me, Ash. Hit me with the...
There's two games that I see
deals.
constantly bringing up that everybody thinks, well, that we know they're actually working on rather than just fantasy picks. The Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yep.
And the Avengers project.
Yes. So I had seen a lot of the Final Fantasy stuff. I hadn't actually seen that much Avengers stuff, but maybe it just wasn't in what I was having a look at. There was all sorts of crazy, these kids being crazy about Kingdom Hearts on Switch and whatever else, and they're just going on rants.
I think that's an impossible
thing. Ash, crazy kids. These kids are crazy.
I mean, it's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be on the Switch.
And then new content for KH as well.
Well, they do have their senior season pass, so technically there is content that they're working on for Kingdom Hearts 3. So they could show something.
Maybe. It could be a thing.
Yeah.
But these crazy kids, they'll want everything.
Yeah.
They'll be disappointed with what we get. But they'll want everything.
To be fair, Square Enix doesn't have the best track record so far, so my hopes are not too high. But yeah, obviously it's been years since we've seen Final Fantasy VII. It was during those glory years of the PlayStation press conference when it was first announced. Apparently last year at E3, game director Tetsuya Nomura told IGN that the Final Fantasy VII remake was finally out of early concept stages and that the game was actually in full development. So they could actually... It's not crazy to think they would have something to show, but I don't think there'll be like a release date or anything. It's like still a ways away.
I think anyone should be happy with something that's better than what they showed last year.
Oh, man.
I saw more rants about what was last year's conference for Square Enix versus what people actually wanted out of this one. It was just like, just be better than last year.
Yep. Just give us Quiet Man 2. That's what we want. Yeah. And I mean, they don't even have a for sure big game. Like last year they had at least Tomb Raider that was definitely coming out. So they had something.
Yeah. And Just
show,
Cause as well.
Is that... That's true. Check out our... Kieran's not here, so it's a bit difficult. But if you want to know why we're laughing, you should go to youtube.com/Explosion Network. Look up our Square Enix. All our E3 coverage from last year, because that was a running joke.
What do you...
Because they are the same game.
What do you think about Square Enix actually taking that spot? Did you expect that, or did you think it would be someone else?
No, I think I was theorizing maybe Google would make a big play and maybe... But, I mean, it's just a time slot. I mean, it's not the end of the world. If Google might still show up there. We're not even sure that Square Enix... I assume that it's just going to be a video package. They said it's a live stream. I doubt they're going to be there at E3 doing a presentation in front of people. So, yeah.
It'll be interesting.
But,
we'll
yeah,
wait and
it'll
see.
be cool. Yeah. And on the Avengers project thing, I don't know how far along it is. Back in 2017, they were still putting out job postings for different things. So, don't know how far along that is, even though, yeah, it's been like 2-3 years since it was actually announced. But, yeah. Don't get your hopes up, kids.
Yeah, you crazy kids. Just take a step back.
Crazy kids.
Just be happy if we get anything good this year.
Take a drink first. Yeah. So we've finally got a look at an example of some of the numbers that are being thrown around for developers to go exclusive to the Epic Game Store. So there was a game that was funded through the crowdfunding source Fig called Phoenix Point. Through Snapshot Games. It's pretty much a spiritual successor to XCOM from one of the main creators of XCOM. So that was funded sometime last year or is in production. But apparently backers who backed it or technically investors, because Fig's thing is you invest in the game and you can get a slice of the money back. They all got an email saying that the game had already, before release, accrued a 191% return on their investment.
Yeah, which is huge.
So, of course, being the internet, people have been doing their math and trying to figure out, because obviously it's that Epic Games exclusivity deal that is where this money has come from. And the maths, they've worked out somehow because through numbers and whatnot. It's approximately $2.25 million for this effectively indie game that was crowdfunded that Epic Games has given them to be exclusive on the store. It should be pointed out this could be like an advance on total sales. So they give them the $2.25 million now, and then all future game sales gets taken off that. That is still an insane amount of money considering it is such a small project.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess this is opening up to say other games going to be getting different deals if they go exclusive, and how much is that going to look like if this smaller game is getting this much. It's going to be interesting because they've put on this article that you've linked in there to say that the Division is also available, obviously, on Division 2 on the Epic Games Store. But, you know, what would a game like that be getting, you know? I don't know. It's hard to know. It's hard to know where this is going to go, because that just seems ridiculous to me.
Yeah, that seems like an insane amount of money that I can't justify in any way. I mean, strategy games are kind of niche, so I don't know. At $60 a pop American, how are they going to make that money back?
I have no idea. Yeah. This will end up being another debate between everyone 6 months down the track.
But I guess it kind of justifies guys like the team behind Borderlands and that sort of thing putting their games on there if they're getting chucked equivalent amounts of money just to put it up there.
If it's actually a thing, then why wouldn't you go that way, and why wouldn't you support that over a platform like Steam or something like that and go with them exclusively? You know, is this something that's more just coming out because it's actually going to be roping people in more to go with an exclusive deal with them? And is it then all just going to fall flat on its face? This is the thing. It's like an Xbox Game Pass
situation. I feel like this was an accident. This was definitely an accident. They didn't intend for this information to come out.
Yeah.
They didn't think it through that the internet would get on this so quickly. I do find it interesting, the idea of it being an advance, and that might be a thing that they do going forward.
Like a forecast.
Like book publishing.
Yeah.
Like they'll pay an author upfront however much money, and then they'll take book sales off that until they make their money back.
Yeah.
Before paying further royalties. So, I mean, that could work for like smaller games. Like, that's a pretty cool idea. But
yeah, just like kind of interested to see what more comes out about it, because it just really seems like an unreal situation.
So much money. And mercifully, the team has said they're putting all the money back into the game to sort of improve it. Obviously, it's not quite ready for release. I don't know how far out it actually is, but yeah, a lot of that money is going to go back in to the game, other than what's getting paid out to investors, obviously. So, yeah. I'm actually excited. I want to check out this game, so I'll be installing the Epic Games portal thing, whatever it's
Will
called.
you be paying
Launcher.
$2.5 million for it, Ash?
No, I will not. That's insane. So we also got to do a look at a new contender for Cutie's Game of the Year. A game called Tamarian from Chameleon Games, which is mostly filled up with veterans from Rare's golden era of game developments. It's a third-person action-adventure game featuring an agile monkey set in a Nordic setting, which is set for release this summer which will be this winter, I guess, which isn't too far away, on PlayStation 4 and PC. We've both checked the trailer out.
Yep.
As Captain Cuties, does it stack up on your cutie radar?
I think it is pretty adorable, but I don't know. It's just like something that's not quite grabbing me with it, but I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, because you're a monkey, aren't you?
Yeah, it's like it looks like a monkey / red panda or something like that.
Yeah, because I think it's focused around in I can't even say the word, extinct type of species and different like habitats and locations and things like that. It looks like a pretty chill kind of game, pretty easy to kind of run through and relax, and yeah, it does look super cute. I mean, the one thing that really grabbed me though was the soundtrack. I really enjoyed the soundtrack and the different music, and it changed quite
drastically.
Between the scenes. So I'm interested to see like how that kind of all comes together. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be a contender, but you know, there's quite a few.
Is still coming out this year.
Yeah,
so,
there's quite a few coming. So
I was enjoying the trailer a lot. I thought it looked really cute, and then they handed the Tamarian character a gun, and I'm like, what?
Yes,
and it's called an Uzi as well.
Pew pew.
And then I'm like, what? This doesn't fit.
I was also a bit confused about that, because I was just like, this is very
because
it took a very
natural. It was very one natural section against these ants.
Yeah. Yes, and the ants
the rest of the time it's normal.
The ants were also a bit confusing to me. I was confused of why they were the predators in the game, I guess. Like the enemies. But
well, I guess if they were the same size, they would be the predators.
They were large.
Yeah.
I was a bit confused about the gun, because the feel of it's quite natural and obviously outdoorsy, and then all of a sudden goes to this kind of like Ratchet and Clank weapon type of feel. Yeah,
this little porcupine thing pops out and he goes, "Here, have this. You just received a Uzi." I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you want to be receiving.
Oh man, but yeah, Tamarian, something to check out.
Yeah.
Coming later this year.
It's coming to PS4 and Steam.
Yeah, Steam. For now. We'll see.
It could be Epic Games soon. But yeah, I think I'll check it out.
So the last few weeks have been dropping more Detective Pikachu trailers, more Detective Pikachu looks at, more Detective Pikachu stuff. We're like 2 weeks out. Are you at peak Detective Pikachu hype? Because I am. I'm
not at peak, because the peak is when I come out of the cinema to see it.
It's going to be a 2-week ride of peaking. It's not a peak, it's a plateau.
It's at Pika. We're not at Pika yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I really enjoyed this trailer. I think it was a really good balance of giving us a few things we hadn't seen before, and then giving us just like a little bit more of things that we'd already seen, like character wise and stuff like that. So it just got me like hyped. Yeah, I am definitely excited for it. I'm not at the Pika of it yet, but I will be after I've seen it. But I am in a confidence bubble at the moment that this movie is not going to let us down. You know?
No,
like my
it
percentage has
shouldn't.
increased and increased and increased, that I think this movie's not going to let us down, guys. We might have a good video game movie.
I'm pretty certain we're going to have a good Pokemon movie, at least.
Yeah.
Or video game. Because, early impressions are already in because some lucky people have been able to see it early. Which
That's
kind
not
of
us.
breaks my heart. And that's not us because we're very unlucky. Yeah, lots of people, all pretty much positive. I don't think I've seen a single negative thing said about the movie so far. Dan Casey says, Detective Pikachu is a pure joy from start to finish. It's a heartfelt, relentlessly charming story filled with excellent world building. Plenty of deep cuts for Pokemon fans. There must have been a grass type in the theater because I got surprisingly misty-eyed in parts.
Aww.
So yeah.
What?
Said, I think I tweeted out that, oh crap, this is going to be another movie that makes us cry. There's no shortage of those at the moment.
What character are you liking the most when you see it in the trailers?
I mean,
what do you think looks the best?
Bulbasaur looks pretty adorable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like that in this
Bulbasaur.
Wonderful World trailer, they showed all three starters, obviously. So
yeah,
they're going to feature prominently.
Yeah. Look, I think they're all looking great.
They're all looking great. And that Psyduck hugging Pikachu, that's going to be...
Yeah.
That GIF will be used a lot in the future.
and Pikachu's little face at the end when he's talking about crushing his bones with a hug. Yeah, I think it's going to be... I'm very, very excited. I'm also interested to see what the soundtrack's going to be because there's quite a lot of mix of different songs so far.
Yeah.
So I think that the soundtrack will actually be pretty decent.
They haven't had an original score. It's all been like licensed music, I think, for most of the trailers so far.
So yeah, no, I'm pumped. I'm ready. Give me the Pika Pika.
Just give us the Pokemon already.
Yes, let's catch
Of
them
course.
all.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know, but if you go see it the first weekend, apparently some places are giving a free Pokemon card. So
What?
yeah, exclusive. Yeah.
But just for the listeners out there, my eyeballs just lit up and was surprised.
So you need to see it opening weekend. Like everything, you don't want this movie spoiled.
I know. I'll be avoiding everything, I think, between now and then.
Who knows what will happen when Mewtwo snaps his fingers.
I think Charmy looked so good. Little Charmies
Yeah.
at the beginning.
Oh yeah, little Charmanders.
Oh,
So
I'm
adorable.
excited. They all look so cute and they all look so good.
It's just it's not fair. Why can't we live there? All right, into our last bit of news. We finally found about a little bit more information about the new Persona 5 Royale mode or game. It's not terribly explained great, but apparently it is going to be an expanded re-release of Persona 5. It is set to launch later this year in Japan with a Western release due in 2020. The new version will, announced by developer Atlas today, features a substantial set of new additions that expand on a variety of Persona 5 features. The most significant is a new semester of school to play through, which presumably will add a fair few hours of the story to the game. They also introduced a new member of the Phantom Thieves gang, Kasumi Yoshizawa, who was previously teased in the first Persona 5 The Royal reveal, and caused players to wonder if the game would add a playable female protagonist. Today's news suggests that is not the case. She is a transfer student and will appear to be a party member. There's also another confidant that you can get in this game who's apparently like a counselor at Shujin Academy. There'll be a couple of other locations and dating things and different things added, but yeah. I assume you haven't invested your hundreds and hundreds of hours into Persona 5?
No, so this is where like I'm not any help. I have no feels about this news at all. Dylan is going to listen to this episode and just be like, "What are you doing? Please get off my show." But yeah,
No, he can't talk
great.
either. He's barely played it.
Yeah, I'll pretend it's awesome.
Yeah, I think this is... I'm
Tell me what you think,
disappointed.
Ash.
I'm disappointed that it's not just DLC or something you can download to upgrade your currently purchased game of Persona 5. It sounds definitely like you're going to have to buy another copy of the game. But from what they've said, if they're adding a completely new semester, which would effectively add another third or another 50% to the game, I guess, if I'm doing my math right, if there's 2 semesters, you add another semester, it's like 50% more. That's a fair bit.
Yeah.
And you're adding another character into the mix to weave in with all the other Phantom Thieves and all the other things. So there's obviously a lot of bit work that's getting done or put in, at least, to this. So, I mean, Persona 5 was my game of the year when I played it. I think 2 years ago. I don't know. It's been a while. But for it to turn around and have another re-release like 3-4 years later is pretty hard to handle, I think. It's essentially the same game. But yeah. I'm sure fans will be it'll sell like gangbusters, and all the people who haven't been playing Persona 5 and have been holding off for some ungodly reason will probably jump on this, seeing as it's the complete version.
What are you saying?
No, like, I mean, if you're going to invest time in one 100-hour version of the game, I guess you're going to wait for the Royal version. So.
And are you excited? Does that mean you're pumped for it?
I'm going to wait and see until I'll probably wait till like some reviews come out, but I'm not going to get too pumped. But
okay.
Yeah. I'll let other people get pumped and then poke fun at their pumpedness.
Okay.
As we're recording, on day of recording, apparently the Persona 5S news will be dropping, so which everybody is speculating will be Persona 5 on Switch. So if that happens, congrats, Dash, Drew, the guys over at House of Mario. If not,
suckers.
So Cherie, you're here. So we need to talk about Pokemon Go.
Hello. I've been playing some Pokemon Go, obviously, and I've also been still playing my little Yoshis. Pokemon Go. So the latest on that is they had an Easter event. So they just have events constantly now, which run for like a week or 10 days. I think that's awesome because it really keeps, we've spoken a lot about it on the show, it really keeps the people that have reached their cap level 40 interested in going out and getting new things, getting involved with the events and keeping their interest in the game. So they released, basically with these events at the moment, they're releasing a new collectible shiny to the Pokedex. So for Easter, they released a shiny bunny, and it was a bunnery, and it was pink. And I was calling it it looked like a pink frosted finger bun. Like every time I saw it, it made me want to go to the bakery. And I was lucky enough to catch one, which was my first event catch, not day, not a 1 day event, like out of the weekly events. So that's pretty exciting. I caught one. It's not great CP or anything, but it's cute. I put it in my Dex. It's a Dex entry. I still got it, So that's exciting. And they've got a couple of new things coming up as well. They had special raid weekend, and now you've got shiny Meltan chance as well, little Melty. So yeah, it's all happening. They've just constantly got things going. They've got constantly got things on the go, as some might say.
Oh.
But yeah. So yeah, no, I was still enjoying it. I had a bit of a break. I haven't really been playing much the last couple of weeks. Just I've been a bit sick and just taking a break. So, but I was lucky enough to get my bunny, and so I was very happy about that because it's a very slim chance to get those. So,
do you know anything about this Lucky Friends thing?
Yeah, so they just introduced these Lucky Friends. Basically, there was so much confusion around them at first, I think, when they first brought them out. But basically, if you have the possibility when you do trade with another player that your Pokemons go lucky, which means that they're a minimum of an 85% IV check for your combat and health and defense, like when you get into all the analytical type of stuff within Pokemon Go. And it also means that you can power them up at the half cost of what it would normally cost you from your supplies to do that with a normal Pokemon. So the Lucky Friends basically is actually a forced lucky trade. You can only get it with your best friends that you've been leveled up with to best friends. And then if you open a gift or you battle them or you have any interaction with them and you're already best friends, you have a very slim chance that you will actually go lucky friends with them. And that means your next trade with them is actually a guaranteed lucky. So a lot of people are using it on their legendary Pokemons to obviously, like, you know, if you've caught crappy ones or whatever and you want to make them better, this is the perfect way to do that. And yeah, so I've had 2 lucky friends so far. The day that it came in, actually, the first person that I opened a gift from turned lucky. So that was pretty awesome. And yeah, I've just got another one yesterday. So everyone's like pretty excited about it, because I've seen like reports about people trading Pokemon, because it's like turning a lucky Pokemon is also a different dex entry as well. And I've heard reports about those people that have had lucky friends. That first one is a definite turn lucky for their trade. But then I've heard that they continue trading and the following 5 Pokemon that they've traded also go lucky. So I think it's higher chances on that for what I've sort of seen. But yeah.
That might have been something they've ironed out since the start.
They might have, yeah. But yeah, so that's the news there. So they're just constantly bringing in like new things to. They've still keeping under wraps about their level cap, which is level 40, but that's supposed to be lifting.
It's been like that for ages, though. Surely they've got to be lifting.
That's supposed to be lifting, and I haven't actually looked at it yet, but the beta for Wizards came out too this week.
Yeah, I saw that was out in New Zealand.
Yeah, so a few issues to begin with. So I think
if you don't know what we're talking about the Harry Potter Niantic game.
Yes, yeah. So that's the beta came out this week. A few issues, but I think they're back on track now. So I haven't actually caught up with the news today. What was the update? But yeah, and then just playing my little Yoshis, which I'm just loving still. I just love it.
Still
so
loving
cute.
that crafted worlds.
Yeah, I could play those levels over and over and over.
Before we move on, everybody needs to know, because you haven't talked about it in a little while. What level are you in Pokemon Go?
Pokemon Go 37. I'm in level 37. Yep. Halfway through level 37. So yeah. That's me. So
yeah, still ahead of me.
Oh,
level
maybe.
30. Yeah.
I'm actually ahead of Dylan now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, no.
For that level 30.
It's good.
Level 40. Yeah.
I think for me, like the Pokemon Go thing, like it gets me out. I have very limited time with having a baby, so it just gets me out if I want to duck out like really quick and just do something. It's doing something for myself that, you know, is flexible, and that's no different to my Switch, which is awesome. It makes it a little bit more flexible with the really good sleep mode and stuff like that. So for me at the moment, life demands very small amount of my own personal time. My time goes to everyone and everything else other than myself generally. So I've just been really enjoying those two. It's like very easy light games at the moment for me is the go-to. So yeah, but yeah, what have you been playing, Ash? Tell me about Dreams. Hit me.
I've been playing a little bit of Dreams. I haven't been playing too much. We covered it on this week's Platinum Explosion, which you can find at explosionnetwork.com. Dylan's played a bit more than me, but yeah, it's cool. I mean, it is exactly what they said it was. It's pretty much a creator thing where you can build all sorts of different worlds and games. You can surf through different games, so you just play a bunch of games one after the other. But most of the projects that have been rated up, so they're at like the top of the list at the moment, are stuff that's based on other properties. So like there's the PT game that someone's recreated that's at the top of the list. There was a Hyrule, like World of Hyrule Zelda thing, like world for people to walk through.
Yep.
But yeah, there's some other cool stuff. I saw someone put out like a 3D Kirby section.
Oh, yeah.
Like you just run around a world as Kirby, which fits because it's like because of the art style of Dreams as well. It's like sort of like that panelly arty,
Yeah, yep.
fuzzy style. So he looks cool in that. I saw somebody made a Shrek game.
That's
So-
random.
Yeah, so they made like a swamp that you have to run around in, and then Shrek chases you, and they used a chipified version of Rockstar by Smash Mouth or All Star by Smash Mouth as a theme song for this game. So there's some crazy stuff. Apparently, yeah, I haven't touched the creator tools yet because I'm terrified.
Yeah, I was going to say too scared.
Yeah, but apparently they're great. People are doing crazy stuff and like building stuff. I think I saw somebody was trying to rebuild what was that parkour game? Mirror's Edge.
Yep.
Like trying to get the elements of that into the game. So yeah, and it's cool that you can sort of build on top of other people's. You can borrow stuff from other people, and they'll get credited for that. But you can expand on their work. Yeah. So again, check out Platinum Explosion. Dylan talked about it a lot. He's played a fair bit more, and sort of explained that as well. Pretty good. So yeah.
Awesome.
Game Boy has turned 30. So on April 21st, 1989. God, that's a long time ago.
It is, yep.
The first Game Boy released in Japan. So yeah, 30 years ago this week. If you've been on Twitter, you've seen a bunch of Japanese people's tweets celebrating. Everybody, Nintendo worldwide has been celebrating. 30 years is a crazy amount of time. As of the Game Boy currently sits at third place on the all-time best-selling consoles, behind PlayStation 2 and Nintendo 2DS, with 118.69 million consoles sold. So there was a lot of Game Boy sold. So Cherie, what are your memories of the Game Boy?
So I got my first Game Boy was the Game Boy Color. So it was in 1998. It was released at the end of that year. So I got it I feel like I got it for Christmas. I would have been 10. I remember getting it almost straight away after it came out. And I remember no one else really had it out of my friends or anything like that. And yeah, I had a purple one. That's not surprising either. And I'm pretty sure Dylan had the purple one also. Just for a side note.
I think purple was a pretty... I think maybe purple was the standard color for the color? Off the top of my head?
Because you could get the blue. I think there was blue and all sorts of things.
I feel like purple was the pretty standard version.
And my two main games on it were Mario and Tetris. They were my two main ones, which hilariously are the two... two of the first games that came out on Game Boy. But
ever, yeah.
I primarily wanted it for both those games. I always loved Tetris. I was a big Tetris fan. We've discussed this previously on the couch. And yeah, I loved it. What was your first Game Boy?
I got a Game Boy Pocket at some point in the... I can't even remember. It must be 97.
1997.
I feel like it must have been like after 1998 because it wasn't me and my two brothers all got Game Boy Pockets at the exact same time. So there must have been some sort of like deal.
Yes.
Or like they were trying to get rid of them. So it must have been after the Game Boy Color came out. And we all got Super Mario Land, which was I think the original Game Boy version of the game, or Mario that came for the Game Boy.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the one we played. We'd all sit in the back seat while we're going places, and we'd all be on our own individual Game Boys, playing Mario, being quiet, so we didn't distract our parents and make them want to drive off the road. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would always take
Yeah.
mine on trips as well. I remember hitting a level and just like cracking the shits hardcore with it and being like, screw this, I can't get past this level. I'm just going to start another save. and then like I'd play it up until I couldn't get to the same level again. I remember I tucked it away for ages and then eventually came back to it and and obviously got past that level. But I filled up all 3 saves just from hating that one particular world level that I was on.
That you just couldn't get past, yeah.
I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I never finished Super Mario Land, so I feel the pain.
Yeah, I don't think I finished it either.
But yeah, I think the other game that a lot of us all played on the Game Boy was Pokemon. I'm not sure that I ever actually own. I probably did own a Pokemon cartridge, but I don't. It might have been like a shared thing that we all swapped and collectively played in turns.
Yeah.
So
I never had. I didn't have Pokemon on there. Because remember, I only recently have gotten on the Pokemon train.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a late bloomer. But
very late.
Did you ever have those clear cartridges? You know how they made those special clear cartridges that just looked really cool, and they had a. Did you ever have those?
No,
Not
I
the
don't
black
think so.
ones?
I remember. No, just the basic grey.
Oh, I think I can't even remember what game it was though, but I definitely had one of those clear cartridges, and I just remember thinking, "Geez, these are the tits.
They're
They
so
look so
futuristic,
cool."
man. That's the future. We want to see what's inside our electronics.
Yeah, and it was the future at the time. Come on. And the other best thing that I love about the Game Boy, which is really weird and not related to playing the game at all, is that click when you put the game cartridge in.
Yeah. That's why they went back to cartridges. People love that.
Satisfaction.
That's why
click.
That's why, all the handhelds have been some of the highest selling things of all time. Just that little click.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're going to be playing that game.
Yep.
It's great.
It was great.
Right.
Did you have Tetris?
I don't think so. Yeah, didn't have Tetris.
Disappointing.
Very, very select. And then it wasn't too long before we got into the Game Boy Advance. Or I was playing PlayStation. My brother had the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, too cool. Too cool for the Nintendo.
No, yeah, that's what happened, I think. No. Yeah, not too. The road trip sort of stopped, so
yeah,
it was less neat.
You gave up on the road trips. You were just like, guys, I'm staying at home. I don't want to put up with your nagging anymore.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I think around that time we learned about emulation, which was probably,
oh yeah,
and yeah. You had to spend your money on a certain thing. So
yes.
If you're going to spend your money between the handheld or a PlayStation game, you're going to pick the PlayStation game.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah. So I've got the list of the top 10 all-time selling Game Boy games. At number 10, Wario Land Super Mario Land 3. I think that's one of the first introductions of Wario in games, so that's pretty interesting. At number 9 is Pokemon Pinball. Have you ever played Pokemon Pinball, Clearly? No?
I don't think so, no.
It's the jam. They should bring it back. You just play Pokemon, and then instead of you play pinball to catch Pokemon. It'd be such an easy thing to bring back, but yeah. I remember playing that on the computer illegally for hours and hours.
Pinball on in anything was great, let alone Pokemon.
Yeah. Yeah, pinball's great. Pinball is, I'm pretty sure the first thing I downloaded on my PlayStation 4 was that free pinball game because it's free. Yeah.
Yep. That and the pool games.
Yeah. So that's at 5,310,000 copies. And then at number 8 is Dr. Mario at 5,340,000. No, 5,340,000 numbers. Yeah. I never got into Dr. Mario. It just looked like a weird version of Tetris or something. Yeah.
No.
No. I don't think he had any sort of degree or anything. At number 7, we have Pokemon Crystal with 6,390,000 copies. Pokemon Crystal's what? The third generation? No, it's the the enhanced second generation. So the equivalent of yellow is for gold and silver. So yeah, that's pretty high.
Yeah, I'm
That's a lot of
actually
copies.
like when I actually think about it, I wasn't really thinking about when we were discussing it, but pinball to be number one.
No, that's number 9.
Oh, number 9. Phew.
I'm going
I was
from
like, I was having a
10 down.
heart attack for a second.
Yeah, it should be number 1 though. Yeah,
I was like, holy
it's
shit.
infinite play. Yeah.
I was like,
at
we're
number
going the
6,
other way, upside down.
We're going up
yeah,
the list.
Okay. I'm with you now.
At number 6, we have Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins with 11,180,000 copies. Number 5, we have Pokemon Yellow at 14,640,000, which isn't surprising. That's everybody wanted that yellow version when it came out. Because that was like on the height of the Pokemon franchise. Train, yeah. The movie was out. The anime was like super big. It was on hugest cartoon possible of television.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pokemon Yellow. And you got to play as Pikachu, which obviously was the mascot of Pokemon pretty much. So.
Yep.
Number 4, unsurprising, Super Mario Land with 18,140,000 copies. Seemed like every kid had that. It was just chucked in with the Game Boy. Number 3 is Pokemon Gold and Silver at 23,100,000. At number 2 is Pokemon Red/Green and Blue, because one of them was called Green in America, Japan, and not.
Yeah, that's weird, but yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. At 30, no, maybe I can't remember my history. Maybe they sold 3 different ones in Japan or something like that. At 31,380,000 copies. That sounds about right. Which is a pretty good attach rate when you consider that, there's 118 million Game Boys sold. So that's 1 in 6?
Yep.
Something like that.
Good math.
And then, of course, at number 1 is Tetris at 35 million copies sold.
Does not surprise me.
It was shipped with the Game Boy, so those numbers are a bit cheating.
Yeah, so like looking into it, was it the Polygon article that you were like having a look through the Game Boy history? I found that really interesting because it kind of gave you that background story of the process of, what they ended up releasing with and ended up going with Tetris, and it being more available to a wider range of audiences and not just specifically boys, which I found interesting. And yeah, I mean, Tetris. Everyone loves Tetris. Well, you should.
It's the perfect game.
Did you ever play Tetris on PC or anything like that? Or was your first?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. You're not letting everyone down.
No, I don't know where I played Tetris, but I know I played Tetris. It might have even just been in another kid's Game Boy that I stole for a second.
Yeah, I was just like wondering
if we take turns at something.
If you didn't have it on Game Boy, obviously you've played it recently on VR, Tetris Effect.
No, yeah. Definitely something before that, even if it was just on a phone or something.
Good. It's okay.
Yeah, Tetris.
Not letting the 30 club down.
No, yeah. Tetris is one of those seminal games that I think everybody had to play, like Pac-Man or something like that.
Yeah. You'd hope so.
Or Pong, yeah. That's the 3. Pac-Man, Tetris, Pong. You have to have played one of those 3. Or all of those 3. So I found this list of some interesting facts. We'll just sort of skim through whatever I think is interesting. Apparently, in the 90s, there was a Game Boy that they currently show at Nintendo's, the Nintendo shop in New York, I believe, that was involved in the Gulf War bombings, and it's still intact and still works.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Because you drop your phone, you can't use that anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Game Boy gets bombed.
That's old technology at its finest.
Yeah, it's crazy. It looks dope. It looks like a cool.
It looks dope.
Artsy.
You heard it here first, everyone. Ash used the word dope to describe how cool it looks.
Blow up your Game Boys. Okay, so apparently also in the 90s, the Game Boy almost became a personal digital assistant. a PDA. A company called Fabtech created the Workboy, which was a weird peripheral aimed at turning the handheld into an office tool. It came with a keyboard along with software for a clock, day planner, and currency converter. It was never released, but it was, which is probably for the best. It was going to be like $80.
That's really expensive for them.
Yeah, $80. That's almost a whole nother Game Boy. Plus some. But yeah. See, they almost had the first iPhone, I guess, or smartphone in the Game Boy.
I feel like over
the Game Boy is a pioneer of a bunch of things. Because
Yeah.
the next thing on the answers list, the Game Boy camera.
No, I remember that being a thing and thinking, what?
Yep, so when you think about it, Game Boy created the selfie. Because it's a forward-facing camera.
No.
So you had to take, you had to take pictures of yourself looking at the camera. So it created the selfie. The other thing was they had the printer as well. Remember the printer?
Oh, these were just awful things. These were things as a kid like you wanted, but your parents were like, no.
No, yeah. Again, probably for the best that we didn't get those things. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, crazy that back in the 90s they created selfies. Or
Did you did you ever play against other like your friends and stuff? I don't think I ever once did.
No.
I had no friends.
That was like a key feature. You can get a cable that you can play against each other in the games. But no, never had a cable, so
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I had any friends, so it was fine.
No. To be fair, the Game Boy was a solitary experience. Kind of. Apparently there was also a sewing machine that got released.
Oh my
that
god.
Connected to your Game Boy.
That's insane.
So the Singer Sewing Machine Company got into the action with the release of the Isaac in 2000s as a kid's first sewing machine. The Isaac came with a Game Boy and cable that could let you control it through the handheld. There are up to 80 patterns that you could make, and the machine would embroider letters and messages.
Oh my god, why didn't I know?
Didn't. Yeah, it didn't make much of an impact stateside. It was a Japanese version did way better, and even had a Mario embroidery pack.
My goodness, I did not know
Crazy.
this. Were you sewing on embroidery?
I definitely
things?
was not sewing. I can't even sew now, so maybe that is something I should have had. Then
now you would be
it'd be
sewing.
way helpful. Apparently, they had a boombox sort of boombox boy accessory that let you listen to FM radio through your Game Boy.
Goodness, what is this?
Now, kids, FM radio is no.
You crazy kids.
Yeah. But apparently there was no way to tune into a specific station, and apparently it was way too loud.
Oh my god, it's like it's just a lucky dip of what you're gonna get. Whether it's even gonna tune into a station or what you're gonna be listening to is just
Yeah, you just plug in and then it would just tune to whatever was the closest, I think, station to the range.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
apparently the way it plugged in covered up the volume controls on the Game Boy.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, that's pretty great. I don't know if you know, but the Game Boy had awesome battery life. Apparently 30 hours of playtime
Whoa,
for
geez.
4 AA batteries.
We would be
Which, when you think about it, that's a lot.
that we'd be
I mean, my
living
phone
in
doesn't
AA
last
batteries if things ran off that now. Jeez.
My phone doesn't last for 30 hours.
Oh
in a row,
my goodness, they are shit, aren't they?
Yeah.
Nothing lasts anymore for battery.
Yeah. So apparently a survey in 1995 disproved that Game Boys were only for boys when Nintendo discovered that 46% of all Game Boy users were female. This was way better than the 26% the NES had. And Nintendo has kept this fact in mind ever since, and female gamers are making up more of the gaming audience. 2014 study found 54% of all gamers are female. So suck it, Gamergate people.
So really, it should have been called Game Girl.
Yeah, probably. I'm surprised they didn't release one. That sounds like something
They
most people
called
would.
the Switch because We're in 2019 now, people.
Yeah.
And we're making the switch.
And we're all...
Gamer girls are coming
it's
for
2019 and gender is fluid. Apparently, there was a peripheral that gave you like a... Okay, something about the Game Boy made a breeding ground for weird and wacky peripherals. Maybe it was ubiquity and portability, who knows. But one of the strangest peripherals, without a doubt, was the Pocket Sonar. Made by Bandai in 1998, the Pocket Sonar was a fishing accessory that turned the Game Boy into a radar. The foam boy worked for a depth up to 65 feet. A few mini games were included, but the Pocket Sonar was really meant as a fishing tool, not a game. Having never been released outside Japan, we don't know how well it really worked.
I've decided that the Game Boy was actually planted by the government.
I mean, possibly. It was clearly the best piece of technology of the 90s.
Yeah, I think it was.
I mean, not just the
goodness.
90s. Apparently in 2009, a medical company unveiled the Pedi Sedate as a device to help administer anesthesia. Essentially a nasal headset attached to a Game Boy. The handheld helped distract people. It's actually a clever idea. So yeah. So then, I don't know if you can call that a device
Or a clever idea.
I don't think you can claim that as a propriety thing. You're just sticking a device in front of a kid and saying, "Hey, now we're going to stick a needle in you."
My goodness.
Oh god.
I feel like we've come so far, but also gone backwards in so many ways.
We wish more video game adaptations were as innovative and mission possible on the Game Boy. Based on the Tom Cruise movie series, the actual game itself is nothing to write home about, but it's the bonus features that the game gets really cool. Those features basically turned your Game Boy into a classic spy gadget. You can send text to other players, save addresses, and calculate numbers, but the coolest feature is programming your handheld to your TV as a remote. It works too, scanning through channels and controlling the volume.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, crazy. I'm sure, did you remember the Nintendo Game Boy Light? Because obviously you couldn't play the Game Boy at night because it was like...
Oh, yeah, it had no backlight.
So it had this huge, massive peripheral thing that you stuck on it that had a magnifying glass thing on top. And then that would... and then it would show light on it. So then you'd be able to play your Game Boy.
It sounds cool.
In the dark.
For sure.
It sounds
but
cool.
I didn't have it, no.
No.
I was
didn't
stuck
have it
never
either,
playing at night.
I definitely saw... No. With a little flashlight, that's how I played.
The other thing that I always
car
had
at
issues
night.
was, like, I remember trying to take it to the beach and stuff, and because the sun was, like, glaring on it so much, you
yeah.
also still couldn't see.
I can't relate. I never went to the beach.
Oh, okay. You were playing at nighttime, and I was at the beach during the day.
In the day.
Yeah.
Similar problems. So, though it was made from outdated technology, the Game Boy and its descendants have often been used to test new tech. Heck, there was one Game Boy Advance game with a solar panel in the cartridge. But more conducive to gaming was being able to track real-world motions in-game. This was first done in the Game Boy Color game Kirby Tilt and Tumble. The game involved tilting the Game Boy to move Kirby around the level, and a built-in accelerometer could tell which way players tilted the handheld. So this is pretty standard in mobile games now, but Nintendo did it first. So that's pretty incredible.
I mean, that's not the most surprising one out of all of these.
I mean, no, but
facts,
to think that the accelerometer sort of thing was put inside a game cartridge and not an actual device.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. My mind is blown.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the Game Boy. That's those are all the fun facts that I could find. Crazy. There's probably a billion different games. It was a great console. If you didn't have one, that was unlucky.
Yeah, it was unlucky. I remember I loved mine.
The joys.
Yeah. I remember I was just always so happy and I just had to take it everywhere with me.
All right. Thank you for joining us on the couch this week. Make sure you check out explosionnetwork.com for all our other shows, reviews, news, articles, and more. Rate Arcade Couch on Apple Podcasts to help out the show, or simply share it on social media with your friends. It helps. Word of mouth is always helpful. You can follow the Explosion Network on Twitter at ExplosionPod and join our Discord at explosionnetwork.com/Discord. We're always talking about stuffs and other things. You can follow me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEYHOBLEY. You can just follow Cherie on Twitter at Cherie Corno, CHERIACORNO. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you here next week.
Bye.
Same time, same couch,
Bye.
more people.
Bye.
I mean, the space has been nice, but
every trophy counts. Don't be told otherwise. Join myself and Ash each Tuesday when a shiny new episode of Platinum Explosion dings into podcast feeds. The number one PlayStation podcast in the Oceanias breaks down all the latest in PlayStation related news, releases, trophy lists, and much, much more. Just search your podcast app for Platinum Explosion and subscribe for free now.
Weird.
yeah, it's going to be a quiet one.
Yeah.
Dylan's not here to make 20-minute rants about stuff. It's going to be...
Oh, yeah, go off topic. Yeah.
All right.